Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, the SuperCoach Pro. Today's video, we're doing a round 9 SuperCoach team preview. So we're doing a couple trades before the round starts. I'm going one or two ways. Let me know what you guys think of this one. And then we'll talk about VC and C options this week for my team. And if you got any comments for VC and C options, just put them through and I'll respond with my opinion, or even any trades you guys have, just put them in the comments down below. So now for me, you can see my whoops are only Gold Coast, Fremantle, and Sydney. So I don't really got much of an option, to be honest. So I'm gonna have to whoop Stewart against Richmond. We just kicked the ball into a pack, and I think it's just his sort of dream game where he goes 150, no worries against us. And yeah, look at his history too. Pretty sure he has a massive score against us last time he played us. He scored a 161 and a 118 in the last two, and even a 92. So at 161, I feel like that's going to happen again, just because we have no Tom Lynch and we don't seem to lower the eyes good enough to be that good on Friday night. And then also we kick a lot of behinds, I feel. We definitely miss opportunities, so he'll take a lot of those kick outs. So I think he's got a VC in him to go big, and I won't have to go for a C. Now, if I have to go C option this week, probably playing Oliver. I don't really care about a tag. Who did the Dogs? The Dogs play Carlton, and we know Hewitt has been tagging. So I feel more comfortable with Oliver shaking a tag than what I do Bonds against a player of Hewitt's caliber. So what are we doing now? The two options I've considered have always been the way of Gimby, just based on break evens and trying to max out my cash. Gimby's got a break even of 61, going to do a job on Noah Anderson, which I don't think will mean anything to his score. Normally, when Gimby does rolls against players, he normally scores really bad. And then the other player I'm going to trade out is Hollins, because his break even's higher than Oscar Baker. So these two, for me, just logically go by how much they can make in cash, and sort of hope Baker resets his break even and scores another 70 or something like that. Hollins hasn't really showed that ceiling as a rookie. So we're going to bring in Weddle for the first option. He's been named. I don't want to pay 200k for another rookie. I've already done that twice this year. With Teakle last week, and he could have got dropped, to be honest, against Draper, and I just don't like the same fact. Like, what happens if we bring in Atkins? He has, bad job security, which he does. Weddle's still been named for a third, but doesn't have to score as high as an Atkins does to maintain that cash. Atkins, even in our jump on and jump off segment last week, I wasn't hot on, so I feel like it'd be a bit of a hypocrite to go him now. And I've just don't like him as a pick for that coin. So for me, Weddle comes in as a high draft pick. He's a young kid. Hawthorn are going to be playing kids all year, and I think he might be a slow burn, sort of like a Cowan, but I think he'll make 100k. A lot slower than what Atkins can, but I just don't feel like Atkins will get many games this year in comparison to Weddle. Or I know he doesn't need it because his scoring is decent, but he's just one bad game away, and so is Weddle. But I feel like Weddle can always go back into the VFL and get his job back, whereas I don't feel like Atkins can once Gold Coast get all their injured players returning slowly. I probably harped on too much about why I'm doing that, I guess. But now, sorting out players I can afford. Now, I've got two routes of doing this, and there's not much upside with one pick. You're paying for what you get, and one it's like a mystery box. So I'm skipping on Brayshaw because I don't think he's quite over his knee. He has said it's the best he's felt, blah, blah, blah. But I don't trust that. And the same token, I'm not going to trust Steele either. Injured players, like I don't got a lot of trades to go sideways if one of these guys do miss a week or two. I like Jack Steele, but just I can't do it. So for me, it's got to be Callum Mills. We know what he's scored in the past. And his next 3 games seem to be pretty decent teams. Their fixture's pretty soft. So I think going Mills, the only thing I don't like about picking Mills, it means is I've only got 3 more spots in the midfield to take. I know you're going to have to get cheap mids anyway. You're not going to pay 600k for everyone. So this is how the side would look. And there's a lot of looping involved because my side is very flexible in DPP status. So we can do a lot of things with this team in general. So let's put the optimize button there. Undoes your change. Don't need to do that. Keep that. Anyway, so looping Simpsons score. Now Simpsons does well. Probably take off Ashcroft, you'd think. So this is why I don't like bringing in Mills, because I feel like Ashcroft against Essendon could do decent without Parish. And then I'll also loophole Mitchell. So loophole Radaglia. So if Radaglia does well, I'll put Roberts on. Like so. And then if Simpson does well, Johnson stays on. And the back line looks like that. However, if Radaglia does bad, this is the whole point of bringing these DPP players in, is Mitchell goes down back. Sheasel now comes forward. Radaglia's score won't matter. It'll just be an emergency thing. And then the back line is fine. Now, if Simpson doesn't do well, it's as simple as just putting Ashcroft on, and your side's fine. So there's that, or the other route of it is bringing in a defender. Now, the problem is Mills isn't going to be a top 8 midfielder from here on out, right? And I still need at least 1 or 2 defenders here, because Will Day will obviously be there. But do you grab a top 8 midfielder? Jake Lloyd is number 6, and he's above Sinclair, and he's in 7% of sides. And his break even's only 84, whereas Mills, you can wait a week. He's only 116 break even. And I can have a look next week to see what he's worth. Now, I don't think Mills would go crazy like everybody else. So if I'm playing the break even games for premiums and I'm just paying for what you get, it's Jake Lloyd. He's got better scoring than what Mills has this year. Mills is about to go back to CBAs. He's named as a follower. So do I grab a potential or do I just grab a safe bet? Now, at 13,000 rank, I'm sort of in a weird position where I'm probably should go for the mystery box and go risky, but also like Jake Lloyd scoring so well. But in these games, will Freo, North and Carlton score enough behinds for him to accumulate? Probably. But he is at least top 6 to top 8 in his line. And I can bring him in this week. So if I bring in Lloyd, then that last stocker spot has to be Dawson. Like, it can't be anybody else. It wouldn't make sense for it to be anybody else. So let's complete trades. It means I skip any other defenders like Luke Ryan, which I don't like because he burnt me last year. I'm not sold on it. I know he's scoring really well each week, and he might for the rest of the season, but it's just I don't believe him until maybe after the buys. And then this is what the side would go into by doing this sort of move. So Will Day at the back. Stocker turns into Dawson at some point if I can get there. Yeah, how would it set up for the actual Friday games rather than he on Mitchell? Same thing, Simpson. Emergency here for Radaglia. And it means I'm playing a good back line. The midfield's fine with Chicotta. And then it's better because I'm sort of looping Simpson or Baker. I'm not worrying about having to take off Ashcroft if Simpson does well. So for me, I'd sort of rather play it that way, where if Simpson doesn't play too good I can just loophole that score. But I've got to make sure this is all done almost by half time. So it's pretty risky because we know what Simpsons did last time, 60 half time, then did nothing after that. So I'm undecided where I go, Jake Lloyd or Carl Mills, but it'll be one of them before the bounce. And the plan is definitely to bring in Weddle and hold Ashcroft. So basically, my trade's at 90% confirmed. It's just if I go Jake Lloyd or do I go Mills. And I'm really torn. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I should go by looking at my team. What lineup looks better? Do I go Lloyd? Do I go Mills? Because then it still means I've got 4 premiums I can choose from. I can wait for a Cripps to go down and Yields to go down, Uniac to turn the corner at some point maybe, or do I just bite the bullet and go Mills now with the easy fixture that he's got and bank on him in the midfield role? So that is the end of the video. A bit of a longer explanation to what I'm thinking about with my picks. If I had to go those 3 in order out of that sort of price range, it'd have to be Mills, Brayshaw, Steele, just because Steele shoulder I'm a little bit sceptical on. And Brayshaw looks like he sort of turned a corner, but he's got a harder fixture. So for me, Mills seems more logical, but down back, it's Lloyd or Powell. So that is the end of the video. I'll leave it there. Sorry for a long ramble, but that is the side going into round 9. Hopefully you guys have a good one. And I think I've explained my VC and C already, pretty sure. Should go back into VCing Stewart and captaining Oliver. And my footy tips this week is going to be Cats, Gold Coast, Sydney, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, Dogs, St Kilda, and Collingwood for me. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll be on the next segment on Jump On, Jump Off with Steve from SDS SuperCoach. Catch you. Bye.